Measure facilitates possession and enable one to occupy, control, and manipulate the land. Control often responds to social, political, and environmental exigencies and characterize humankind's power. Mining represents the power of human technologies and putative ecological creation of landscape. A staggering rate of digital devices and electronics in our modern societies has resulted in astronomical growth in critical mineral resource, especially cobalt, in Democratic Republic of Congo. Mining town as agglomeration of labor practices, economical strategies, and social formations are therefore productive of classic embattled ecosystem. There are various time and spatial scales interleave here. The volcanic relief and igneous rock formations containing precious mineral represent geological time. Cobalt is an essential component of rechargeable lithium-ion batteries. The end product may be in your pocket, on your desk, in your garage, or even in your investment portfolio. It powers most electronic gadgets, including smartphones, laptops, and electric vehicles. But while they are often considered to be greener than their lead-acid counterparts, the major electronics and automotive companies that use them can expose themselves to serious risk. That's because not only is the cobalt used in the batteries that power these devices obtained via a lengthy and complex supply chain, but cobalt mining has a high human toll and hazardous impact to the environment. As you can see from this drawing, DRC plays a crucial role in cobalt supply that no other countries can compare with it. The country produces more than 60% of global cobalt resource, outperforming other countries by the amount of productions and reserves, which transform the entire country into a mining machine, with only 18% of protected area of non-mining site, and 56% of country are mining permitted zone. Mining produces almost 9/10 of total export, which is the largest source of country's income, and cobalt accounts for 60% of it. However, abundant resource of cobalt is not a blessing, but a curse due to ongoing conflict, poor governance, corruptions, and a lack of infrastructure. People are not benefit from this immense wealth, but increase in risk. In fact, in 2019, DRC became the country with the second highest number of people living below the poverty line, where average income of workers is only $400 per year. There are two types of mining activities, industrial and artisanal mining. Conflicts between industrial and artisanal miner is a source of tension in DRC. On one hand, foreign involvement as a type of resource colonization. At least 25 international mining companies are active in the country, which produce almost 70% of material for export. On the other hand, is the most controversial artisanal operations. It has about 12.5 million Congolese, produce around 20% of cobalt. Did colonialism ever end? Today, the operation for exploitation and extraction of mineral resources on the continent has, however, largely not changed after Western colonists were politically returned over 5 decades ago. Such investments has mainly been for benefit of private enterprise alone. Little or no attention have been given to ways in which such industrial investments could improve urbanism and the general quality of life outside private enclaves. This research will focus on the southeastern area of DRC, where the main oil belt is located. Most of the cobalt towns are located in the province of southeastern DRC, known as Katanga, which has long been distinct from the rest of the country in terms of its readily exploitable natural wealth, as well as its distinct political history. Cobalt has been mined and exploited by Katanga's inhabitants since late 16th century and was rapidly exploited and developed from 1884 to 1960 by Belgium during colonial period, therefore generated mining urbanism. Mining activities have created a unique form of urban settlements, a symbiotic relationship between mining territories and cities. Mining town has brought urban functions, forming an independent economy and distributing as a series of islands in this area. The phenomenon of this settlement are like the field, extraction, and plotting mentioned in the Agency of Mapping by James Corner. Through projecting a series of ore bodies from the underground to the surface, which reveal the thickness and imagination of the ground. Here, I take Lubumbashi as a site for further study. Lubumbashi, the second largest city in DRC, has witnessed the mine as an urban object since 20th century, which shows metabolic, social-ecological process of mining activities as an entry point toward urbanization that grew from this very alarming ground of extractive landscape. The volume of open pit mine, shaped by both excavation and the system of infrastructure, resembles a monumental amphitheater, cutting time in an instant from one millennium to the next, leaping through generations and creating irreversible voids. With the parallel expansion of cities and mining industries that not only alter the urban fabric above the ground, but also directly or indirectly change the invisible yet powerful material field below the surface. Water is not simply a material element in the productions of cities, but is also a critical dimension to the social productions of space. Water implies a series of connectiveness between the body and the city, between social and biophysical system, and between the visible and invisible dimension to urban space. In Lubumbashi, atmosphere, soil, surface waters, and groundwater are negatively impacted with trace metals and other contaminants as a result of mining and metallurgical activities. Revealing the ground. Soil environments, surface water, and groundwater are deteriorated by factory emanations and dust from mining events, tailings, discharge of untreated industrial and hazardous effluents into rivers. Most of people here do not have access to safe drinking water. They largely depend on surface water for their domestic water needs. The use of surface water and groundwater are heavily contaminated. The levels of most of the metals exceeded the maximum concentration limits of WHO and European Union standards, and they present a high risk to aquatic organisms living in those waters and to the health of people. Since industrial mining are mostly dominated by foreign companies, artisanal mining presents an important opportunity for impoverished citizens to increase their income. Today, artisanal mining activities are controversial due to several points of view. For example, Artisanal miners are at increased risk of suffering health concerns and causing environmental degradation to surrounding areas, and contributes to a correlation between unregulated illegal mining and prevalent health issues in local communities. However, aside from health concerns, artisanal mining does have an additional benefit that large-scale mining does not achieve. This kind of operation have the potential to create many well-paying jobs at a very low investment rate, because small-scale mining is typically performed with only the most rudimentary tools. It tends to be highly labor-intensive, but minimally capital-intensive. Therefore, investments into developing artisanal mines can be highly successful, because the required investment per job is typically only 10 to 12% of the money required to create a job at an industrial plant. Moreover, in facing the social concerns and human rights, there are some projects are underway to address these controversies. Companies like Apple, BMW, Samsung, etc. are working closely with miners and suppliers to build capacity and improve safety and equity of practices. To conclude, as the demand for electronics are growing, the need for cobalt will continue to increase before a better alternative is found. For now, as long as the government can adopt more comprehensive laws for artisanal mines to provide better protection of human rights and environment, this is a feasible activities to alleviate poverty issue. Thank you.